Hey everybody, thanks for listening to The Fate of Isen. This is Book 2, Chapter Earth, Episode 32, Epilogue, Earth. This episode was live streamed on our Twitch channel on Wednesday, the 6th of December, 2023. If you want to watch our adventures live and take part in the chat while you're at it, make sure you're following us over on twitch.tv/fateofisen so you don't miss out. And if you need to get new dice, face it, of course you do, make sure you head on over to our partners, fanrolldice.com, and use the promo code FATEOFISEN to get 10% off your entire order. And here is the recap. Oh wow, what an absolutely ridiculous episode we had last time. We had to figure out how to recover that Earth Stone. That took us a bit. We battled massive plants and thankfully everyone ended up living. Mr. Kane yelled at us to get out. And then I had a very special connection with a very special stone, and I feel like I've been changed forever. What does this mean for our adventure going forward? What does that mean for me, Bardley, the main character of Fate of Isen?
What a note to start on, because our players have now got characters in the world of Isen that have left already a bit of a mark on the world. The Isen will never be the same, and perhaps our wee sidebars will never be the same for what has happened to them already along the way. So where do we find our sidebars? Well, we find them back in their caravan wagon being pulled by donkeys, having sort of had a fairly good and well-deserved rest as they trundle back towards Lakeside. And you know it's going to be a few days travel, so you've got a bit of time on this trip, and I know you probably got a lot to think about with everything that you've been through, everything that you have unanswered, everything that you still have in front of you. There's a lot going on, and so what I wanted to do is start us off today by vocalizing what is going on for our characters. So you wake up in the morning, you're in your own bunks, you're sort of getting ready to start your day, but you're thinking about maybe something that has happened to you, those brushes with the strange, and all sorts of different people that you've met along the way. And I want you to think about what would your character be thinking about that has changed for them? You know, is it something in the way that they think now, or is it something literally about them that has changed now from who they were when we first started this adventure? So who wants to go first as we wake in the morning?
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah.
None of us are morning people.
Apparently Hamlet
That's
wakes
the problem.
up first.
I wake up. I greet the birds. Good morning, birds. I say it a little bit too loudly. I also take stock of my friends, also still sleeping, I imagine. And I mull over how far I've come over the last wee while. How I came from my family, and I left my family, and that was a decision I made, and now feel very fulfilled to have found what I believe to be a new family, and a sense of belonging. And even though that family has its faults, this is the first time that Hamlet feels as though people treat him for who he is, rather than who they would like him to be. And so Hamlet smiles and goes, wow, what a beautiful morning!
Who wakes up next with this?
I'd say that wakes next to him. I can't imagine he's the heaviest sleeper. Because he does have to stay somewhat alert for things. So they kind of... He's like, oh,
morning!
Good morning, boss.
How are you this morning? Sorry, I'm just warming up my vocal cords.
Do you mind calling them down? It's very loud.
Yeah, I was going to say, you hear a warning in your head. Warning, he seems to be in a really good mood. Don't understand it, but consider yourself warned.
Yeah. Thank you, Sword. Anyway, what has gotten you into this good mood?
Oh, well, you know, Dexter, and I give him a really hard slap on the back.
Ow. Can I defend against this? I'm kidding.
You do take a point of damage, though.
Wait, Hamlet hasn't got him that swollen his sleep, right? Just sleep curling.
Hamlet's pretty strong.
Well, you have to roll now.
Dexter is pretty quick, though, like, in terms of getting out of the way of that, you know?
Yeah,
That's how it kind of, he leans forward a little bit, so it just kind of...
Point being, he slaps him on the back and goes, oh, you know, just taking stock, feeling good. I'm rich, Dexter, but not rich like I used to be. I'm rich in another way. Don't worry, you wouldn't understand.
Probably not. And I feel like I don't have the time to really explore this. But I'm glad you're feeling good.
Why, thank you.
Probably because you have lackey duties ahead of you. So, as you get up to... Everybody just assumes you're probably going to get up and prep stuff and look after the donkeys and stuff. Just like everybody assumes Granny's going to be making the food, right? Like, it's this kind of pattern that you've gotten into. So as you get up and you start your day, what is Dexter thinking about that's changed for him?
A fair bit has changed. So are we travelling on the cart or to sleep? Have we kind of bunkered down?
No, the donkeys are just kind of plodding along.
Okay.
And you've just all gone because you were exhausted. Yeah. I'm sure somebody tried to stay awake but failed miserably. Whoever that was. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna go up, start untangling. I guess donkeys have a mane. It's like a horse kind of creature. It's got like
it's
some kind of mohawk.
Sticky. Yeah, it's like more sticky up here. It's not as long and graceful, but yeah.
Okay, he's just gonna like comb through that a little bit, like get some kind of chunks and really reflect on what's happened. I think similar to Hamlet, his connection to the other people in the party has definitely grown. They kind of saved his life in no uncertain terms by kind of pulling him out of danger. But rather than this being framed in a rich in a way that isn't money that Hamlet has, it's thrown Dexter to a kind of loop. He used to always put a lot of himself and a lot of his identity into his connection with nature. And then nature almost killed him. And he stared death in the face because nature just attacked and was violent and just threw his body around. So he's not necessarily a crisis, but a kind of turbulent internal battle between what he used to kind of have faith in then becoming dangerous and kind of foreign to him, and then this new group of people that he has fallen in with and who, again, saved his life. He was telling them to go, to like leave him, to save themselves, and they didn't. So there's a bit of good, a bit of bad. It's also reflecting on Bardley, his dear companion, who has not necessarily seemed like they had any connection to nature. Suddenly, big nature person all of a sudden. So it's kind of jacking Dexter's flavour a little bit, and so he's a bit confused about that. It's like when you show up to school in a cool backpack and someone else has got a cooler backpack. Like, what do you do? And this is all kind of like swirling through his head of like, I thought I was the nature person. I'm not the nature person, but the nature attacked me. But then I've got good friends and I don't want to turn on them because they helped me. And it just faster and faster trying to like comb this donkey's head. Just like... sorry, donkey. I'm sure Granny can find out what your name is, but for now I'm just going to call you by what you are.
It's... We know this.
I can't pronounce that.
Well,
Yes.
did you take a feat? Anyway.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 of them. Which is also a very good joke because Dex is variant human, so does have 2 feet.
Nice. Okay, so who wakes up rudely awakened by a donkey scream of pain as their mane is being tugged?
I mean, I'm unmuted, so might as well. Granny wakes up in a strange mood. She's thinking about why she left her family and the role of a granny, the caretaker, the caregiver, the one who has warm feelings towards all that's small and young and inexperienced. She wanted to get away from that, and yet now she is taking care of 3 crazy-ass little gremlins doing very, very juvenile things around her. And then she walks into a beautiful lush forest. She loves nature, and then the nature goes down and freaking attacks everything, including herself, and she cannot reconcile the idea she had of herself of becoming a hero, a fighter, a main character of a story, and then still falling into the old pattern of caring and of saving. And yet she feels in her heart she can't abandon these poor lost little creatures in the forest alone. They don't even know what's happening, what's waiting out there. And she thinks, maybe one day I can be an adventurer and a granny, and that will be okay. And she goes and prepares breakfast.
Nice. I like that for Granny. Like, she's kind of realizing she's fallen into her old patterns, but in a new way. You know? Yeah, I like that. Awesome. And so it's probably the smell of food that wakes our dear Bard, who is sort of established as a late riser. So that does make sense. Yes.
Yeah. Bardley yawns and, like, unperturbed by any noise up to this point, smells meat cooking for a yummy breakfast and decides to wake up. And Bardley kind of looks around the camp and also kind of is like a little bit feeling a little reminiscent, pulls out the little instrument and plucks a few chords while thinking over the last sort of adventure. You know, Bardley came, he didn't really even have friends close enough that he would remember their names, really. Even their closest friend. What's his name? And... but now, Dexter, Granny...
Sorry, I was laughing too hard to do it.
Ham something. Bardley almost knows all of their names. And...
the ham guy. Granny, which is more of a title.
At the start, Bardley wasn't too sure about how they were going to get on with Granny or Dexter, because they're quite different from who Bardley is. But now Bardley's got this connection with nature that is a commonality that they've found that they have in common. So they're like, oh, I think this can bring us closer together, us 3. And then also, you know, at the start, Bardley wasn't sure how to feel about Hamlet, but in his own way, I think. And
I like that you just kind of waved your arms in the air for an audio only podcast.
Oh, no. Don't understand the silence.
You know, Bardley's you know, tried to save Hamlet's life even recently a couple of times now. You know, gone out of their way to make sure that they didn't die, which Bardley wouldn't do for someone that they didn't like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bardley would just not participate. Yeah. Bardley just doesn't interact with things that Bardley doesn't like. And so Bardley finishes strumming and then moseys up to Granny to see what breakfast is.
Cool. Perfect. Yeah, so in this way you guys all come together, having breakfast together, and you are probably packing up dishes and getting ready to get back on the wagon and move on when you see a wagon behind you. And it's a familiar wagon to you all, as you realize that this is the forward cabin of the Rattlepike Revelers. It doesn't have all of the wagons, so presumably some of them are still left behind to pack up the stage and do all of that, but it looks like this particular wagon has been moving at pace, maybe to try and track you down. Yeah. So, do you wait around for this wagon? Do you run away from it? I don't know what you do.
Coming up from behind, did you say?
Yeah, so like from the same direction as you guys were all coming from. It's obviously packed up in a hurry and come after you in order to be this close.
We left on good terms.
Yeah. No, you did.
You know what?
Absolutely.
You know what? They're
terms.
probably. I didn't tell you guys, but I'd been reading over the script that we had. I was quite quite keen to be a part of this whole show. So I was reading over my lines, and I think that I have, I've learned a few things in the realm of acting. And maybe they overheard my monologues. And by this, of course, I mean that I've taken on the actor feat.
I think we missed it, though.
Yes, but maybe they heard other people talking about us, perhaps. I don't know. Let's hear what they have to say. Is all I'm saying. Maybe.
Oh, you think they're coming for you?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'll say, if they come for you, boss, I'll protect you.
No. They're not going to come for me.
You come for one of us.
They might come for me, but they're not going to.
We ride or die.
To clarify for all of our listeners, so our characters, our beloved, to clarify, so our beloved sidebars have leveled. They are now level 4. So as we go through, you'll hear them talk about like different things they can do and revealing all of their exciting extras that they have now. So, yay! Yeah, so Hamlet has taken on the actor feat. I look forward to seeing how that goes. Yay!
Because he's already so charismatic.
So as this wagon arrives, you realize that riding in this wagon is the director. He's sort of...
I hail that.
He's... Chat's like incredulous that you guys slept. Yes, they did. I'm proud of them. So he is hailing you down, and he's sort of waving frantically at you all.
Hail and well met, traveller.
And as he realizes that you're going to wait, he calms down a little bit.
Dex is gonna hop down. Do we have soup? Do we have something we can...
Do we have the welcoming soup?
Guys, do we
have the welcome? I'll sing a welcoming song. I'll sing a welcoming song.
Granny, where is the welcome?
Welcome.
Our special Kia ora broth.
Yeah.
Granny pulls out a thorn whip instead of the broth. I'm like, I've changed.
Okay.
The deal has changed. Prayer, do not change it further.
I may be taking care of you, but I am a hero. I'm like,
Granny, that's not soup. Granny, that's not soup.
Yeah.
They might not like
and
that.
So
soup for you,
Charlemagne,
not for them. Is
right?
What it is.
We've had a drop out, but Charlemagne.
Hamlet's so excited he's fainted.
Drops out of the carriage and just kind of passes the reins to somebody that you didn't see before, but is kind of hovering in the background. You see that Lucy So is in the caravan too, and then left stage So sort of pops his head out and kind of appears, and then like they're holding on to reins and calming horses and things like that. As Chair hops out and goes, yes, exactly, Granny, just like that. I mean, that's exactly why I've chased you down. I realized we had heroes amongst our midst, heroes with new stories. We could totally put on a play about what happened, but I need to know more about how you and he gestures sort of quite dramatically.
But who would play the
himself.
lead is the question.
And I could write the soundtrack.
Can I insight this? That sounds a little suspicious.
Absolutely.
I narrow my eyes with the whip, about to whip it again.
Can I do a perception check to see if there are any other people on their card that we have not seen?
Yes, so 22.
Can I do a charisma roll to make them let me write the soundtrack for the play?
That'd be performance, surely.
Okay,
No,
so
I've got to convince them.
yeah, so with a 22, they seem completely on the level. Actually, he's quite excited. He had this.
Can I do a performance roll to get
idea.
them to cast me as the main character?
Surely.
I mean, sure, but it's going to be problematic. But yes, and the same with our Budley, if you want to roll their roll.
Charisma.
Yeah. Like a persuasion check, basically.
Yeah. Oh, that's a unnatural 26 from me.
Okay, cool. So essentially, he tells you that you're a couple of days away from Lakeside, And if you can come up with it in a couple of days, like, you know, yeah, like,
oh yeah, I've got
absolutely.
a huge backlog.
Yeah.
I've got a huge backlog of music. I can just insert it in.
Yeah, 100%. So what he wants to know as he's like going along with you, and he spends this time with each of you, and he wants to know about like your character, right? To like be able to get somebody to play your character like you would play it. And in order to inform his character choices and his decisions and stuff, he wants to know about like the best things and the worst things. He says to you, I need to know of your deeds that we may spread your name in accuracy, you see. And I need to know the good, the bad, the happy, the sad, the most on top of the world you've ever been, the scariest thing you've ever seen. We want to know it all. And so essentially, as you're sitting down with Charlemagne, you can share a couple of things with him, so feel free to share like a happy or a
Just
good or
share the main points.
yeah, you know, yeah. And so if we go kind of in reverse this time, so Bardley, as you're sitting down and you're like writing the score out with Chair, you know, he's also quizzing you on this stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes, I've also been categorizing our battles so far and putting them into lyrical song already. So this one was actually about when we fought those giant creatures in the cave.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. And you, like, so that one there is what you consider like a highlight, like a...
For sure.
Like a on top of the world, you beat these guys kind of thing, you've rescued your friend Cup.
Of course, the most recent, like, least worked upon one is just one I've been tinkering with since last night about plant magic. I'm thinking of calling it Plant Magica. Maybe. Who knows? It'll be an album.
Okay. And that one you're referring to as what, like a low point? Or like, is that the dramatic, like, bad, scary stuff? Or like, what's the mood of that track?
What? No, that's a whole album.
Oh, sorry. What's the mood of the album?
Well, different songs, different moods. It's a whole spiritual journey that you go on. There are points where you feel like you yourself are trapped in the man trap, and then points where you feel huge elation at touching a stone. Just classic human emotions, you know? Just a real relatable experience.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And so you have these big chats about what could be these big musical number points.
Yeah,
and
there are 2 tracks on that album that would work for the play.
Yeah, 100%. And he's also like, yeah, but we've got to talk about the others, you know? And you're like, well, I don't know anything about them. You're going to have to, like, go find out, and I'll write the music, you know? So he trundles off to the next person and kind of is like, right, you know, we've got to get some highlights. Bardley is writing the tracks. They're doing such an amazing job. But I need the feelings, the emotion, the action. Yeah. So, goes back around. It would be Granny next.
Oh, well, I always think of the hero's origin story when I think about it. And for me, it was the day when we walked into that field and set those rats aflame. And then plowed the field while we were at it, because we are the good people of the land. We will help. We'll help even if they don't want us to help.
And he's like, oh, I like an origin story. Yes, this is good. But give me the drama, you know? And he's, yeah.
Ooh. Well... well, this is a bit embarrassing. But there was this one time when we stole a dying woman from a hospital, but that was for a good cause. Because we wanted her to be reunited with her family, not just perish alone.
And did she live?
In a story she did?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I mean, there's a beautiful solo dramatic number there, isn't there? And she perishes.
Yes, but thanks to us, she perishes in the arms of her loved ones, who subsequently probably catch the disease, but that's not part of it.
Right.
But that's I'm not here to try.
Yes, I can work with this. Wonderful stuff. Thank you so much, Granny. And he trundles off to go talk to Dexter. To talk to you about, drama and magic and highlights and lows.
Hello, chairperson.
Chair Lemaine.
Sure. If you say so.
Well, I mean, Wagon used to say it, but the Rattlepike Revelers is really the main thing.
Of course. How can I help you?
Oh, well, I'm trying to capture your stories, your character, your emotion, your journey, the adventure you've been on, and share it, with the world of Isen as we travel. And Bardley, they're doing such an amazing job of the music. But I need the emotion of the character that will be yours.
Oh.
So, could you tell me something of your highs and your lows that we could make into a musical number?
I see. So throughout...
Just give me your emotion for the money.
Must we put it in such capitalistic terms?
Sell your soul. Sell your soul.
I love art.
I mean, have you heard about that time that Hamlet disappeared for a bunch of time?
No? Tell me.
Have you heard of the band Caves? You legally have to say it like that.
Oh, right. Yes, actually. Competed with them for a festival stage time. Rather rude. They stole our slot.
Eisen's Got Talent. I've heard of it.
It's not the only thing they steal.
Well, they played a show at Lakeside, and then they did a weird magic effect that caused people to run into a forest after a particular flower, and then they just left and vamoosed. And then took the money that we were owed, which, does sound a lot like what you were saying. And then Hamlet was one of the people that just ran off, and then we tried to find him, and we eventually did. But I think, just by coincidence, it was nothing that we did.
So, they're now enemies of the Sidebars? Are we saying this? For the drama, of course.
Oh, mortal enemies.
Of course.
Oh, yes.
Villains.
And remember the
Oh,
lackey
yes.
whose name was Destiny?
Oh, yes. We met somebody whose actual name was Destiny.
I mean, Desperation, probably. I don't remember.
Desperado.
Make it something not as cool. Make it like a weird name, like, I don't know, Julia.
With a D.
Yes, Julia
No,
as in
no.
D-E-W, like the Jew that drops on the morning.
But that
no, that's
sounds
too
really
cool
nice.
again.
No, you should do something really stupid like
D-
Guys!
That wouldn't make any sense. Fit on
Like a
sea
fish.
creatures.
Like a fish.
Like some kind of fish person.
Yeah, see, I just don't
But
think we
it's
can come up with weird
PHIN.
names. Finn is just too cool.
So what happened with this Destiny person? What was their whole deal? Why were they
Oh
there?
my god.
They were a Caves super fan, and they had travelled drama across the land to see Caves specifically. And then they said,
and then we got in their way? Was this something
I
like
think we got between them and Caves. I think, did they get trampled? Were they okay?
we got to the...
Well, we found the purse
Exactly.
spike.
Oh, yes. Oh, and...
So we found the purse spike for them, then they took the purse spike and didn't pay us.
Chair Honey,
Oh.
crazy story. In this forest, Destiny got trapped by giant spiders. Got trapped into a cocoon, and then we had to cut them out of the cocoon. Like a second birth, but more spidery.
Right.
That was dramatic.
And
I mean,
then
had
I
to
changed
fight some
into
spiders.
a spider. So, fight fire with fire, because that's how we roll in this
Classic
game.
Granny.
Mind freak.
Yeah.
Work smarter, not harder.
I do love the fact that you guys are like taking this opportunity to rewrite the story that actually happened, which is she was standing there pointing at a cocoon that was wriggling.
Yeah, she actually wanted to go home and leave the cocoons, and we were like, no, Destin B. No, we couldn't
then we-
do that at all, because we are heroes, is what we are.
So there we were. 15
Right.
to
I think
20
I was passed
giant
out.
spiders.
Yeah.
all coming at us from every direction. North, northeast, east, the rest of them.
Yeah, their venom had knocked me out.
And they said, we're gonna kill you and then kill the entirety of Lakeside, but we stopped them.
And the world.
And the world. We could be living under
And we
spider
saved
government.
the world. Spiderkind could
Wow,
own
this
us.
is great stuff.
Was I there?
No, you ran
I
off
don't
into the
remember
wild.
any
No,
of
you-
this.
Yeah, you were
All
gone.
right.
You were compelled by Cave's mortal arch
Yes, we
nemesis.
You were
almost
feeling the
lost
music.
you.
Seas.
And then you swooped in at the last minute. Sometime when we were.
Riding,
Yes, I haven't
riding the
told you
donkey.
about where I was.
Were you?
But a story for another time, I'm sure.
Oh dear. Okay. Crime. All right. So that was obviously Dexter's low point is losing his person who made him a lackey. And also all of that happenings, like the whole caves thing, the whole running into a woods thing, the whole purse spike knocking people out and spiders thing. Like, it was a bad time for Dexter, obviously stuck with him quite hard. What's Dexter's like, you know, he's right, and what is the redeeming number for our Dexter character?
So the redemption is we fought hordes and hordes of giant spiders, got out there. And then I realized I need to do something selfless with my life and teach people how to look after themselves. So for a little bit of gold, I taught a lot of tiny kids how to kick and punch and fight. I wish there was the name of a play, like some kind of kid that does karate.
Yes, I
What if
can
you called
see
it Footloose?
Oh,
Because your feet.
Yes, because he renders a foot loose from the body. Yes,
he's got loose feet and he's kicking.
I
He's
see
got
it.
his feet.
Dix is just going to do like a kick into the air, like loose foot. Perfect.
It's like, okay, well, we were planning on calling you Dexter, but I suppose we could call you Loosefoot.
That's me, Dexter Loosefoot Clementine.
That's your last name?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't know my last name.
Hyphenated.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Do you know Granny's name isn't really Granny? Crazy.
What?
What?
Excuse me, we covered this. It's Sabinka. And I whip.
Yes, Granny Sabinka. First name Granny, second name Sabinka. Don't try to pull the wool over my eyes, lackey. All right.
Goodness.
I like that she's a lackey too. But alright.
Oh yeah,
that was directed
calling
at
Dexter
Sorry,
like
what was
Granny
this?
saying.
Okay, dear Hamlet. Did you want a breakfast or do you want to go to bed without
I was
one?
not calling you a lackey. I was calling
I
lackey
see,
lackey.
that's what you're
are
saying
Granny.
now.
Grab him by the
but
ear.
The second ago, that sounded like you may
Grab his
be
ear.
a
Just
little
grab
His name was
impetuous.
Locke. It was Dexter, not Locke.
And Charlemagne sees all this happening and it's like, right, good fellow, we should discuss. We should discuss many things, like your great triumphs, our star of the piece, and punches Hamlet on the shoulder, you know? Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about that actually. I thought perhaps, you know, I'm obviously as a hero quite busy with all sorts of manners of heroism. Perhaps maybe if I just chose who were to play me.
Oh, of course. And
Excellent. If you would just send those headshots to me, of course, the sketches of your actors.
yes, you don't remember them?
I just feel like I would be better at choosing if I had them in front of me, you know?
Yes. Absolutely.
Excellent, thank you. Anyway, more about me, eh?
Yes, I'm
I...
dying to know all about you.
Well, what good story is complete without a little bit of romance? I believe what should be front and center in this story should be Hamlet's quest for love. Some of...
Continue.
Sorry, do you hear that?
No, it wasn't.
What was that?
It was.
No, it was like an aww.
No.
It was like, I remember.
Yes.
Pasta.
Just
Pasta?
Johnny.
I don't even know it.
Quintuple fettuccine.
So,
Old
So-
school Wiggly Vanilli.
You see,
For our
Hamlet.
live
Hamlet is a.
for our live stream
but-
chat, I've just put Quintella up in the chat.
Well, you see, Hamlet's quest for love started way back, right when he met these people and decided to flirt with a woman at a bar who identified the scent on him as that of a Brock flower.
Not cabbage.
And from there, you know, is
the Brock flower important?
Well, I am
It kinda
of the Brock
smells
flower
farty.
dynasty.
Depends who you
I'm
ask.
Hamlet's Brock flower.
Right, that does
we're
explain the
trying to
smell.
explain to him it isn't, but he thinks it is, so just roll with it for a little bit.
I feel like the smell may have faded slightly, though. No?
You're just used
You
to
can
it.
say that.
It would be better if you just took off all the Brock flowers out of your...
Thinking perhaps it could be some sort of symbolism
When we go
that I'm no
outside.
longer carrying the scent of my relatives. No, maybe in the next one.
I mean, you've always
I don't
smelt a
know.
bit like it. I wouldn't know if
That's
it's
fine.
changed. Me, Chair Lemaine, wouldn't know.
Anyway, some of the other women that I have encountered have been. There was a bodyguard, I believe. She went by the name of Sam.
Right.
Yes, she was guarding Farmer Tawai's farm, I believe, and I gave her very good advice that she should leave her current profession because she wasn't any good at it. The second woman that I believe I had an encounter with was... There was the... what? Help me out here, guys. Who else was I in conversation
Well,
with?
I mean,
Oh,
there was Nurse
mean-
J, who treated
Yes.
Hamlet's infection, and then there was
Nurse J.
Yep, there was.
Yes, there was Nurse J.
Are we
There was
talking
also
successful?
Destiny, who desperately wanted me, by the way, but I just said, no, you are evil, cannot do this. Hamlet is a free spirit, he doesn't do things like this. And then I met Quintella, and Quintella Spaghetti, she ran a crystal shop in Lakeside
Called
And-
Crispy Crystals, yes.
called Crispy's Crystals, yes. Oh, you're familiar with it?
Oh,
Crystals.
absolutely, everybody knows. Crispy's Crystals.
Yes, and well, we had one incredible night on the barge, on the ferry, the Lakeside ferry. But you know, just no woman can tie down the ham dog. So,
The
So
what
wait,
now?
are you on a quest for love, or are you on a quest for... And he just kind of leaves it.
But
Look, we can work with this and make it more...
I'm sure. I think as well. Use your creative mind, but there were, I believe, also 12 other women.
Right.
In that.
I see. Yes.
Sounds
The
12
other
sounds
woman.
right. There's many people
Other women.
who wanted a piece of this. Is essentially what.
They want to tear you
I'm
limb
trying.
from limb.
Want little pieces.
They're angry.
Yes.
Cut them off in the
also,
night.
let's not
Okay.
move past ham dog.
Let's move past ham dog because I want to talk about Chair also. Right, yes. Big love scenes, a lot of fighting for your fancy. Yes, I see the picture. What is the emotional struggle moment? What is the moment we connect with our Hamlet? When do we see him low or sad or scared? What's that?
Well, it would probably be when I projectile vomited out the side of the gurney, trying to save the woman in the Lakeside Hospital. That would be the moment, I believe, was one of my lowest, for sure. Especially when I tried to throw a bit of mushroom into that doctor's mouth, and it missed. I think that really sealed the deal.
I mean, that's just the way that ham dog
Yeah.
rolls.
So it's really not the moment where your best friend was lying half dead inside of a plant. That's not it.
I think we're blocking out that
No, I
trauma.
think-
It's meant to
I
read.
like that all of
When
you
I
were
say-
like, no, we're not talking about the corpse flower. We're not talking about...
If we talk about
But
it,
this
it
is
might
great.
come
This
back.
is great. Yeah. Nope, this is great. I had completely forgotten about the projectile vomit moment, and it's wonderful. And Charlemagne seems very excited about this. Oh, the props we can do!
The practical effects.
Yes. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I can't wait to throw a bucket on the audience.
But don't include that bit.
No, of course not. And he's frantically scribbling notes.
No, do include it. Do include it.
Yeah.
Definitely include that. Do it.
Yeah. And so in this way, our heroes make their way back to Lakeside, where they are greeted with enthusiasm by Nurse Nahi. In fact, even as you go to walk into the hospital's main doors, you see, you know, like how you walk in the doors and usually that little like ding ding kind of appears above your head that usually says like if you owe them money or what you might have been in there for last or any of that kind of stuff, what doctor is your favorite to see, blah blah blah.
Get that from my house.
Yeah. This time it says ding ding VIP sent to Nurse Nahi immediately. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
An Uber ride from last week.
Yeah.
Just appears above your head.
Yeah.
$120 in takeaways.
And so you get quickly bundled into the weird box thing that moves in a very strange way and taken immediately to her office where you don't even need to imagine the door exists. It's already open and she's waiting for you.
Hello.
Yes,
Ahoy, hoy.
they said you were coming. Oh, I've got news for you. But have you recovered it?
Recovered what?
Dexter's just going to stare at Bardley.
Yeah, Granny's just gonna come over to Barley and shake the bag of holding out of his pocket whilst holding him up.
Oh, yeah. Just hold me upside down.
Like, there it is.
Okay.
I open the bag while I'm upside down
Yeah.
and shake it
I was
out.
going to say, with a bag of holding, you need to kind of know what you're pulling out or, like, tell the bag what you're pulling out. So you obviously...
I go, Earthstone!
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. And as you
I
pull...
choose you.
As you
Yeah.
pull this Earthstone out of the bag, it is absolutely coated in green glitter. Just coated.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's St. Patrick's Day in there.
Oh my gosh, it's so shiny now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I hand it to the nurse.
You haven't had much opportunity to use, like, put in and pull out of the bag of holding yet, but it has occurred to you that other things came out shiny, but you didn't really pay much attention to them because they were small things. But this is, like,
Right.
coated. Yeah.
I actually have the same problem in real life.
Yeah.
Not to metagame, but I put things in my bag and they come out glittery all the time.
Yeah.
This is a little too close to home.
So, it
I
have a
probably
sword that
wouldn't
calls
occur to you, but to explain this
And
for
a
our
highlighter to explain my
listeners,
bag.
this bag of holding was much cheaper because they couldn't stop it from producing glitter. And so literally everything is always coated in glitter.
Okay, my yassified bag of holding.
Yeah.
This is an upgrade, I'm glad.
Okay, green room at a drag show. Go off, Queen.
Yeah. It is quite sparkly and things are quite shiny. It will be hard to, like, hide things that you take out of the bag of
It
holding.
is also
but
impossible to get rid of glitter once it's on things.
that is the herpes of the craft world, yes.
See, I was gonna not say that, but yes, exactly.
Technically a curse.
I want to question the mechanics of this infinite glitter hack later on.
Let's do this later on. This happened.
Yeah.
You drown in that.
Well, I'll tell you a story about how the Baltic Sea got salty because it's related somehow.
Yes. So you pull out this Earthstone. You have to quickly, like...
Brush it off. I'm getting glitter all over my clothes to wipe it off.
Yeah. And you hand this over to Nurse Nahi, and she just looks at it and she goes, "Oh, I've missed you." It's sort of weird. Like, I feel like when I hold it, I just feel more connected to myself somehow. You know?
That's because you're made of mud. And
She, like, ponders that as she sort of clicks her fingers, and you all kind of shift violently sideways, and the door closes, and you sort of move, very familiar to this moving box thing that you hop into previously, and the door opens again, and this time you're in that dark, underground of the lakeside hospital where you've been before and everything was creepy and the lights are flickering down here and there's weird clicking noises and things like that. And she goes, oh, just watch out for the hand sanitizers. Yes, they're always cleaning. And you see these little skittering hands come through, and they're just like holding rags, and they're just like cleaning things and then skittering.
Yes, we've all watched Wednesday.
Yeah. Yes. The hand.
Just Wednesday, not the whole Addams Family.
What
Yeah,
am I, some kind of
hand.
nerd?
And then she walks a bit further, and she's like, oh, don't mind them. They're the X-ray examples, and you see a room is just full of like skeletons, just like all these like bones walking around. She's like, it's just to sort of explain to people what their insides look like. It's quite a handy tool actually. They can sort of break the bone in the same place, and then we just patch them right back up again. Anyway, moving on. She's like walking past these rooms, and she's explaining to you everything down here. She's like, well, we used to use those ones quite a lot, actually. And you see this room of, like, fluttering winged creatures with these big, long, proboscis noses. And she's like, but people get a bit freaked out when their blood's taken by a creature that doesn't really stay still, you know? Also, it's sometimes quite hard to get the blood back out of the sturges. I mean, they're very, very insistent on drinking it.
Okay, so where are we heading
So
to?
anyway,
Where are we
yeah,
going?
and she like keeps walking, and she like pushes her hand on the wall as she's sort of like talking nervously, and you get the fact that she's like really nervous about what's going to happen. So she's sort of been like kind of putting it off, like it's not going to work, you know. And she steps into the room, and you see this dark room. It's just earth. It's just packed earth everywhere, and this packed earth podium in the middle of it. And she steps towards it, and she kind of gets like buffed, like a little bit, and she's like, "Ooh."
She gets buff. She works
Like
out.
rebuffed from it. Like she sort of gets bounced. Like it's almost got a weird sort of energy.
Buffed. She gets buffed again.
Yeah, she gets double buff.
Yeah. And
She's on the juice.
she reaches.
Okay.
She
the
reaches
Russian
out
Oh.
She reaches out a hand towards this, like, whatever it was that pushed her away, and she's like, interesting. Okay, but Bartley?
Yes.
Apparently I wants you to put it on the podium.
Oh, okay. And I hold out my little palm.
Yep.
And I extend it back. It's still coated in glitter.
Yeah.
And I pick up the stone and I bring it up to my face and I give it a little kiss, and then I take it to the podium and I put it down.
Yeah, and like, you don't know what she was talking about because there was no resistance for you. You don't really feel anything from the stone, so you're like, weirdo. You know, like there's no connection.
But I still give it a little kiss.
Yeah. And you put it down on the podium, and there is a weird flicker in this room that you all see. It's almost like, you know, when the road gets hot and you're looking past it and it just, everything looks a little wavy for a second, and you see that, and then the hard packed,
Like a mirage.
yeah, like the hard packed earth kind of like jumps a little bit, and you see that it's a little loose in places, and it starts to kind of crumble away on the walls a little bit, like something has been brushed away, and you see that there's like words and pictures and patterns and things under the dirt on all of these walls.
Can we brush them off? Like,
Yeah, you can now, like you couldn't have before, but everything kind of seems to have loosened. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I go in and I start going, brush.
Nice, yeah. And you see, it looks to be pictures of figures that are very familiar to you. You've seen them in the monastery before, in a fountain.
The statues and in my hallucination.
Yeah, it looks to be text under here, some kind of words under here, and you see, so you see particularly the names, two particular names that are like loud and proud, and they repeated over and over and over here. You see Leoman, and you see Kashtar.
Lehman Kashtar.
Like, writing about them as if people considered them more than a person. You don't know what that even means, but they're like, you know, like people are thanking these people are saying that these people are responsible for like looking after everybody. There's like this whole, you know, thank you kind of vibe about it, and like people are bowing to them like maybe they were a king and a queen or something. You know, you've never seen anything like this before.
It's almost like they were worshipped. Like they were
They were what?
performers.
Oh, yeah.
Like really big stars.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean,
That's
like,
how badly we see it.
Hey, nurse, do you know who these names are?
she is staring at it like, I've never seen this before. I didn't know this was here.
Does this often happen with walls?
No.
The hospital's a weird place, man.
And it's very confusing and quite unsettling. Yes. She's like, also kind of calming, don't you think?
I find it kind of meditative.
Huh. And she just like mulls on that for a moment. And she's like, anyway, and all the to-do I forgot to tell you, I've got you passes to the library.
There's a library?
Oh, yay.
I
can
mean,
get
we
over
take
some.
gold, precious gems.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like
Like a spa weekend.
I don't know.
This is a...
Badly
Yeah,
is
that'd be
genuinely
nice.
enthused by
Yeah.
this.
Oh, wow. Okay,
As a
well,
muse.
I don't know, like concert tickets or I don't know, go-karts.
I don't think you understand. The library is not easily accessible. I've had to call in a favor to...
No,
Oh, I know. I've struggled a couple times.
thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
No,
Right,
that's nice.
Stop this, all of you. Don't ruin this for me. Thank you.
Well, I just thought, being that you had so many questions about everything, and be that we still have so many questions about, this now too, that you might like to go where hardly any land dwellers ever get to go.
Is that why we have quests? Because we have
Oh,
questions.
No, you.
I guess indeed.
Nurse.
I go for a fist bump.
I fist bump back.
Nurse. An important thing is when we're asking people questions, it is to make their life more inconvenient. If we just look things up, it makes our lives more inconvenient. This doesn't work for me at all.
Right, well, I can't exactly tell the submarine to turn around. So,
The what?
well, yes, the library's underwater.
Oh.
And that's the end
of
the
episode.
And the slight introduction that our next element is going to be water.
Yeah, no,
and
damn.
now,
It's gonna be submarines.
yes.
Yeah, metal.
And our heroes will find themselves going
Industrial
under
Revolution.
the water in our next episode. So, we are going to take a break over the Christmas, everybody. So, we will be having a wee little resty. So there will be a particular fortnight where episode doesn't come out. We'll let you know more about that closer to. But, you know, as you can imagine, everybody wants Christmas break. So we're having one as well. So we'll have a fun little Christmas episode that will go live on the Patreon only. So you'll have to be there to see it at the live show, or be a Patreon to see what is happening in 2 weeks' time. So be back here for that crazy Christmas fun. And then we'll see you again in the new year for chapter water in book 2. I'm very excited about it. So, as we all know, the end of the episode wouldn't be the same without giving a big old thank you to the people that help us to keep doing these crazy performances and joining us every week. And we are incredibly thankful to them for continuing to stick with us. And I did not check for new names, so everybody's got their old names as we go into Alex Wright Robertson, Irene Cucci, Laura Kristen Goodwin, Sam Malcolm, Kai Drum Falls, Kai Dearlove, Victoria and Gavin Porter, Daniel Nichols, Violet, Squish the Guy Who Doesn't Talk in an Audio-Only Podcast, Alexander Luke Heights, Andrew Evans, Chaos the Fog, Dakota Szymanski, Sean, Uncle Fingers McGee, Jared from the Indie Film Review Podcast, Ezekiel Tabarelli, The Gamatron, Christian H, Samsara, Disturbed One NZ, Lyndon Hood, Hashtag Full Smells, Erica Jane, Steffi James is Awesome, Penny D from the Terrible Adventures of the Janice and Breakfast Parchment Company Podcast, Aaron Gilgren, Robert McLean, Moji, Torchy Barkhide, Danielle the Tea Lady, Lady of the Tea, Liquor Witch, and Liz from Movie Reviews in 20 Qs. Thank you so much, everybody. We could not literally do this without you. We also want to give a bit of a shout out to amazing people who do all of our art for us. We got Ada Mesa Photography on the photos, Haunted Sandwich on the art, and did you see the latest fan art on the Instagram? Woo! If you've got fan art up your sleeve, send that to us and we will post that on our Instagram. Yay! Very exciting. See you again soon, and don't forget to buy dice at fanrolldice.com using the promo code of Fate of Isen to get 10% off your whole order. fanrolldice.com. They give the best dice. Anyway, I'm talking crap.
Is that improv?
And ora, kaki te ano, and aroha nui. We love you. Goodbye, and see you again soon.
Kakite! Well, that was a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings. I feel like we really kind of connected with ourselves and really took some time to reflect and look back. It was like a group kind of togetherness of emotions, which is what we love from the Sidebars, right? Surely. We got caught up by the actors again. Just as soon as you think you've gotten rid of an actor, they just kind of show back up. But I guess that's just the way that life goes, and it was good to reflect on all of our various adventures, from Hamlet disappearing to kidnapping a woman from a hospital. Oh man, have we gotten up to some hijinks. I hope you enjoyed hearing us kind of reminisce about everything that we've been doing, because it's been quite a journey. I'm definitely a different person now than when I was, and who knows where this library's going to lead us. It's been a submarine. That's not usually where you keep a library. Highly strange times. Well, that's it for this episode. Don't forget to review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this, or just share us with a friend. You can also follow us on social media. Those are all at Fate of Isen, or become a patron at patreon.com/Fate of Isen, where for as little as 2 gold coins and $10 a month, you can support the show, join our exclusive Discord server, and get access to some sweet bonus content and rewards. I hear those episodes of Attrition are going super well. Oh man, the guy that runs that must be ruggedly handsome and interesting and great. See you later.